Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome a gifted teacher, an unequaled mentor, a best-selling author, an award-winning broadcaster, a stellar corporate pitchman, a renowned motivational speaker, a successful businessman, a generous philanthropist, a stalwart conservative, a dedicated family man, an unwavering patriot, and a Hall of Fame coach, Holtz.
Please sit down. I always think you're getting up to leave when... I got to tell you, Pat, I am overwhelmed and humbled by that introduction. That's a type I could listen to all day, and just like you, I thought I was going to have to. Well consideration. Oh, I'm delighted to be here in the great state of Texas. I congratulate you. Pat sent me an awful lot of information on the different people here. The time doesn't allow me to talk about each and every one of them, but I do want to say this about Pat. Pat was an integral part of our football team. I had great confidence in him. Every time I saw him on the field, I knew for sure we were going to win because we're usually ahead by 40. And how great it is to have Scott Turner here. You know, Scott Turner went to the University of Illinois as a 3-year starter. Interpretation couldn't get him into Notre Dame, but and then he went on to play in the NFL for 9 years. The NFL stands not for long, so you know he had to be a very, very special talent to do it. You know, I could go on and on about how important it is for the job you do, the role you do. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. I think it's important for you to understand that who I'm not. I'm not a singer, I'm not a dancer, I'm not an entertainer, I'm not an intellect. When I graduated from high school, I was in the lower third of my high school class. If it was not for people like me, there could have been no upper half of the class. So somebody said, well, you've written 3 New York Times best-selling books, that is true. You look at the only guy in the world who's written more books than he has read. So I bring it up, and I'm sorry I didn't play golf with you yesterday, but I wasn't invited. I love golf. My goal is to gain 5 more pounds so I can shoot my weight. A lot of people try to shoot their age. I'm trying to shoot my weight. And incidentally, I'm so old now, my birthday candles cost more than a cake. But I also realize that 10% of you won't remember 10% of what is said 10 minutes after 7. For the next few minutes, I just want to share some thoughts and ideas and things I really and truly believe. I know that we're in a very competitive state. I know that we're in a state that's been outstanding. I had this for several years now. And I don't know who put it out, but you did a tremendous job pointing out what a great state this is. You know, when this country was first established, we're to have a small central government. And we're to have 50 different countries. You can decide what country you want to live in under the central government. And it headed that way. And I wish there was. I wish I could go and live. And I wish that they would break up this country, conservatives and liberals. Let the conservatives go one side, the liberals on the other side would buy them out in a year. I have no doubt about that. I have very strong belief about certain things. I think that I congratulate you on the awesome responsibility you have. I also congratulate you on being a leader. When I went to Notre Dame, Father Hisberg said I named the head football coach at Notre Dame. He said I could not name the leader. See, titles come from above, and leaders have to come from below. What I'm going to share with you, you may not want to hear, but I'm going to share with you what I feel in the bottom of my heart. I'm going to be honest with you. The stories I give you are absolutely true. I'm not going to talk about something I read about or heard about. This is what I believe. I believe if you're in a leadership position, you better have a vision where you want to take this country, and you better have a plan of how you're going to get there. And you say, well, okay, I got the vision, but the plan is how do I get elected? I'm going to tell you simply how you can get elected, how this country become better if we would just emphasize a couple things. I want to give you a plan I believe in. The plan I've used As a father, as a husband, as a coach. I'm on TV. People say, do you have fun doing TV? Not really. I'm on there with a guy named Mark May. And I want to tell you, Mark May is a beautiful man. He's smart. He's intelligent. He has great character. I love him like a brother. But we have a difference of opinion. He was a player. I was a coach. He made suggestions. I made decisions. He showered after work. I showered before work. He signed a paycheck on the back. I signed it on the front. You know, we just have a different philosophy. But I think that you have to have a faith and belief in what you're doing. We have all kinds of laws. We have federal laws, state laws, county laws, corporate laws, bylaws, in-laws, and outlaws. I think we only need 3 laws to be elected. Because everybody you meet has 3 questions. There's 3 questions that the elector is going to ask. First question they're going to ask, can I trust you? Ladies and gentlemen, we must establish a trust with the people. And what bothers me is sometimes people don't have the damn courage to stand up and say you're lying. That is not true. We cannot continue to have an environment where trust isn't the basis of it. It wasn't a lie that you can keep your health plan if you like it. What he said was you keep your health plan if I like it. That's the difference. It's not complicated. But I think what is important, if you don't have trust, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot have a relationship. It's not about outsmarting people. It's not about fooling people. It's about developing a trust with people. Now, any football team, any marriage, anything else. I've been married 52 years. And I want to pause here and say, if you want some great advice, listen to your spouse. There's nobody knows you any better, loves you any more, wants to see you succeed anymore, be any more honest with you. And my wife's not only somebody I love dearly, she's my best friend. And she's a stage 4 cancer survivor. She's an unbelievable person. And so many times we don't take the opportunity to listen to the people who love us the most. And on our 50th anniversary, I was playing golf. I said, the guy I've been married 50 years, my best friend. The guy said, your wife's not your best friend. I said, oh, yes, she is. He said, well, try this, Ed. He said, your dog is, lock your dog and your wife in the trunk of the car, come back in an hour and see which one's happy to see you. Well, you know, you might have a point on that, but I just think that establishing a trust is absolutely critical in everything you do. When I went to the University of South Carolina, my first year, following things happened. My wife had a second major cancer surgery. My son went into a coma, almost lost him. My mother died the Friday before we played Florida. And I was on a school airplane for 3 days recruiting. We landed Lady Island Airport, and the pilot said, Coach, will you visit Darnell, Washington? We're going to fly 11 miles to Hilton and to get gas. During that 11-mile flight, the school plane crashed. One pilot was killed instantly, another seriously injured, later died. We lost every football game we played that year. We went 0-11. And I had a kicker that said, I can't kick when you're watching. And I explained to him, you're going to the games anyway. But the point is, we were 0-11. Everybody bitched, everybody moaned, everybody complained, nasty letters, nasty newspaper articles. You know what I found out, ladies and gentlemen? It isn't important whether anybody believes in you. You better believe in yourself. I can't tell you how many times I got down on my knees and prayed for the courage when I went in there to do the right thing and to provide the right leadership. The following summer, we're 0-11. I find out on June 8th that 3 players from the previous team were arrested for selling drugs. They weren't on the team then, but they were on the team last year. I was so mad because I've been with that team for 18 months and they still did not trust me. And I had them all in summer school. They ate dinner at 6. So I want team meeting at 7. They came in and I was really mad. I wanted to know why you didn't trust me. Well, nobody said anything. Finally, Jonathan Martin stood up and he said, Coach, I trust you. Looked around the room to one of my teammates, I don't trust you. You lie, you cheat, you steal, you do drugs. And then Andre Goodman, the guy who played in the NFL for 11 years, got up. Said, I agree with him. I go to the locker and I go shower, I go lock my locker or else you'll pilfer. The problem with that team was there was no trust within one another. So I had the manager give him a sheet of paper. I said, I want you to write down everything you did, you regret, you have tomorrow till 2 o'clock. They came back at 2 o'clock, I said, follow me. We went out to the practice field. South Carolina had a tradition. Every time they won a big game on the road, they built a little tombstone. And the date, the name, the score, the opponent. Wasn't a very big graveyard, there was just a couple out there. That morning I had a tombstone delivered blank this big. We dug a hole in it, we put every one of those papers in, we burned it up, we covered it up with dirt, put the tombstone, and made a commitment to one another. Never again would we have a teammate that we could not trust. The one committed excellence. That did care about his teammates, and if they did, they would come see me. That is when the South Carolina program turned around. 6 months later, we had the second greatest turnaround in the history of NCAA football. We went from the longest losing streak to finish 17th in the country and beat Ohio State on January 1. Following year, we finished 11th in the country and beat Ohio State again on January 1 in the bowl game. See, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot emphasize how important it is to have trust. So many people in this world, all success is making good choices. I tell you, wherever you are, good or bad, are because of choices you make. I may offend some people, but I got to tell you how I feel. You choose to do drugs. You choose to drop out of school. You choose to join a gang. You choose to get tattoos from head to bottom. You choose not to have difficulties in your life, and don't blame me because that wasn't my choice. Let's start holding people accountable for the choices and the ramifications that they made. And life is nothing more than making good choices. I guarantee the first choice that I feel we have to make on a football team or in life in general is to do the right thing. Hey, it's not complicated. Just stop and say what's the right thing to do. The second thing I think is absolutely critical is be committed to excellence in everything you do. Now, I'm sitting here as a taxpaying citizen. And I'm looking at the people and I'm saying, can I trust you? Do you mean what you say? Are you honest with me? The second question that we ask, are you committed to excellence? Do you want to be doing it? You look at the graph, you look at the fraud, you look at all this. We say, how can this happen? I walk into the Department of Motor Vehicles, why can't everybody be committed to excellence, whether they work for the government or work in public life? I don't understand, but then again, I'm not very smart, I understand that. It's just having a commitment to excellence whatever we do. But I think the last thing is absolutely critical as well. The question everybody asks, do you care about me? Do you care about me and the problems I have and the difficulties I have with life? See, that's all people want to know is, do you care about me? Now, sometimes people think, well, if we give people something, we're letting them know we genuinely care. See, I don't believe that's right. I believe the way that if you genuinely care about people, you help them become better. You don't take care of them, you don't nature them, you teach them and help them become outstanding. I coached for Woody Hayes at Ohio State. The most important thing I learned under him when we won the national championship. Their obligation as a leader is not to be well-liked, not to be popular. Their obligation as leaders is to make people the very best they can possibly be. And most people don't understand how talented they are. They don't understand how capable they are of achieving outstanding excellence. And so your obligation is to get them out of that comfort zone, to believe in people, to encourage them, to help them achieve something with their lives. I just say to myself, I've seen people. You look at Pat Fallon. Pat Fallon wasn't a great football player, but I tell you what, he was a great teammate. He was a great teammate in Notre Dame, and we won the national championship, not because of coaching. We didn't win because we had superior athletes. Yes, we had very good athletes. We won championships the same way businesses thrive. We won championships and business thrive the same way I think the great governments are run. It's number one, there's a trust there among the people. There's a trust there that we are all going to be honest with one another. We're going to say what we mean what we say. Second thing is, we're going to be committed to excellence. We got to sell that vision, what you have for this country, where we want to go, how we're going to get there. But everybody wants to be part of something great. Everybody wants to be able to stand up and be proud of the people that represent us and the way they do different things. But the last thing the great organization has, they have a genuine caring for each other. I know immigration is a very, very decisive area in some areas. Both my grandparents came over here as immigrants. I'm all for immigration. But I'm going to say something that may offend you, this I feel. The first thing I told the football players in Notre Dame, you know what I told them? Welcome. To come here to become me. Don't expect Notre Dame to become you. I don't care how you wore your socks in high school. I don't care how you did this. You're going to become us. Hey, come here to the country. Welcome. But come here to become us. Don't want me to become you. How about cheering for our damn soccer team? That's not complicated. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking a great deal about it, but come here. If we ever want something great, then stay there. I don't have desire to go there. If I did, go. But I can't go down there. Just care about one another. And I don't understand this. I'm all for taking care of people. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you find anybody who's successful has a foundation. I have a foundation, and we do not spend 1 cent a year on expenses. What do? We have 3 goals. Main one is we provide insulin pumps for diabetic children that can't afford it. My son was diagnosed as a diabetic at age 14. We almost lost him twice. But the pump has saved his life. The one thing we want to do, we want to help diabetic children get a pump. Initially, it cost us $7,000 a pump from Medtronic, but now we get it for $1,000 a pump thanks to the deal we have. The other thing we do, we provide scholarships to trade schools in the Ohio Valley where my wife and I were raised. The Padres are down, the steel mills are at stake. It's a very, very depressed area. So we provide scholarships every year to trade schools. I have 27 graduates working for Hill's Trucking Company, who graduated from automotive school. We also provide $25,000 a year in teachers' grant go online. The point I'm making is this. We have a foundation, we understand we have an obligation to give back to people. And I'll help anybody in this world I possibly can because a lot of people have helped me. But I do believe this, that we need to raise the self-image of people. If they're going to receive a government handout, which we should have, then they should not make it feel like they're given something, they're earning something. Some way, somehow, etc. Caring about people is making them the best that they can possibly be. And that's all I have. 3 rules. Do the right thing, do the best you can, show people you care. I never needed a 4th rule in 40 years. Why? Because the 3 questions that every voter asks. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? Do you care about me? That's not any more complicated than that. And I'd like you to do this for me. I'd like you to take 2 people. Take somebody you got a problem with. Can be somebody from the opposite party, and I can give you several names in the state of Texas that you might be thinking of. And I want you to take somebody you love, admire, and respect. Maybe it's Ted Stickler. Is Ted here? Ted's not here? I'm sorry, I asked him, how would I know Ted Stickler? He said he'll be taller when he lies down than when he stands up. But maybe that was way to tell him, I'm sorry, I missed it. But take somebody you got a problem with, take somebody you admire and respect. Put these 3 questions on them. Can you trust them, yes or no? They committed to excellence, yes or no? They care about you and the organization, yes or no? I guarantee the person you admire and respect, you said yes to all 3 questions. The person you got a problem with, you said what is the problem? If you can't trust them, they aren't committed, or they don't care. And so I try to keep my life basically simple. It's not hard to do that. But I congratulate you once again on the difficult role you play. I congratulate you on the state of Texas. I think the state of Texas is the example for the rest of the states to follow. You look at all the different states now that are trying to emulate you, and what you do for business, what you do for people, and the way you run this state. And I tell you what, this is a beautiful state. It's a beautiful city. I haven't spent that much time in Austin. I came in last night, got up this morning, went for a little walk. You have no be proud. You have a beautiful place. Keep doing what you're doing. But I will tell you this. When you start talking about being reelected, make sure people know they can trust you. And if they can't trust your opponent, and I think you have an obligation to point out where people are being dishonest and lying. Because it's time we hold people accountable for all the different things that they say, instead of just brushing it off and let it go. The second thing is just letting people know we're committed to improving every single area of our life. And we care about them, we care about helping them become great. Not helping them become great. My time's up. I asked her how long should I talk. She said, you should talk about 24, 25 minutes. I talked to John of Transportation. He said he's leaving at 1 o'clock anyway. I don't like people to walk out when I'm speaking. I could go on and on, but I hope I was able to illustrate the things I really believe. And I leave with this very last thought. Want to be happy for an hour? Eat a steak. Want to be happy for a day? Play golf. Want to be happy for a week? Go on a cruise. Now, to me, go on a cruise like being in jail if you have a chance to drown. Want to be happy for a month? Buy a new car. Want to be happy for a year? Win the lottery. Want to be happy for a lifetime? Help people help themselves. Help them help themselves. Thank you. God bless you.